Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Today we have Annabelle Minkova.
Hello, Anna. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy you're here. You came back from the bathroom. This seems to be how I'm introducing a lot of my episodes at the moment. And you told me, what did you tell me?
I said that your bathroom is having an identity crisis.
Why do you say that?
Because it's like, it's half pink and half blue. Your bathroom is in the middle of a gender reveal party. And it can't decide which gender the baby's going to be. It's a woke bathroom.
It's a very woke bathroom. It's like, look, we don't need to decide. Stop being so binary. We can be pink and blue. No, it was that there's these tiles underneath that are like blue and green. It's like green leaves and like blue kind of clouds or sea, and then someone's painted this horrible purple pink over them.
I wasn't you.
It was not me.
I was like, I didn't see Anna as the kind of person who wanted everything to be pink. No. But you never really know someone until you've seen their bathroom.
It's true. And when I moved in here, some of the pink had already been was already chipping off, and so I spent quite a bit of time removing the paint. But there's like, this is so interesting. There's like there's like pink, but then underneath there's like a primer of white, and so it's two layers of paint, and it's a lot of work to take it off.
Okay.
Like it's elbow grease as well as chemicals, as well as like a scraper.
Okay.
It like for one tile to be freed of the pink, it takes like a half an hour.
Okay.
And there's like another 20 tiles in this.
How did you figure out how to do that?
At first I just had like a butter knife, and I was scraping it off, and I was like, this shouldn't be this hard. And then I went to the Bauhaus, and they suggested this thing, but it's this thing that's like this like gel just makes it a bit softer, but then it just makes it really messy. And it's a lot of work to just remove something quite superficial. So I did like 10 tiles, so I've done like half the bathroom, and then I'm just like, that's enough.
Okay, I like it. It looks abstract. It's avant-garde. It's got an opinion. It says something.
It says something.
I'm surprised they were helpful to you in the Bauhaus. Every time I go there with a problem, they look at me like, how should I know? Why are you asking me? I don't work here.
It's taken me a long time to be able to go to the Bauhaus. So the Bauhaus is like the hardware store in Germany, one of the hardware stores, and it's like I had so many really infuriating interactions in there for the first few years, and then I finally I don't know, you just have to approach them with this like, I know what I want, I'm friendly, but I expect nothing from you.
Okay.
It's very much like Berlin dating, actually.
I expect nothing from you. Just a good screw.
Just a good screw, please. Not even. Just show me where the screws are.
I just have a look. That's enough. Then I can go home.
Just tell me there's wood somewhere.
Get off my list. Yeah.
So yeah, but it's gotten better, and also the more German you have, the better the interaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
They always hide there. The employees, every time I go there, and every other, I think, country in Europe, you walk into a shop and they're like, "Oh, how can I help you?" Whereas in Germany, or like especially in the Bauhaus, they like scatter.
Oh the worst
it's like
shop.
Turning on the light in the bathroom at night time. It's just like.
Like, no, they won't see me if I'm over here. They're just like behind the computer. It's like, dude, this is the service area. Like, why would you not be doing your job? Oh my god. Also, no, the worst place in Germany, I think, customer service wise, is Mediamarkt, or like the technology
stores. Okay, I haven't been there.
Save that one. That one's nothing makes me angrier than going to Mediamarkt. And whenever, like the last time I went in there, an employee actually said, "Can I help you?" And I was like, like, this has never happened. Like, I usually have to search for someone, and then you give me the wrong directions. I ask another person, they get angry that I'm asking, send me somewhere else. Like, it's just the most unprofessional, unhelpful hospital. Yeah. So you lived in Berlin for how long?
3 years. Maybe a little bit more than 3 years, yeah.
And you started comedy as soon as you arrived, or you'd already done comedy in England?
I started comedy in Berlin. So I lived here about a year and a half, and maybe a bit longer than that. And then it was during COVID, like everything was shut down, like all the clubs were shut. So I was like, oh, my weekend is free. And like when you're like semi-depressed, you're like, you watch loads of stand-up to feel something. So I was like, I watch so much stand-up. But because I'm obsessed with productivity, I was like, I need to make use of all this information that I've got, so I should do a class.
Yes.
So I signed up for a class with Caroline. Caroline Clifford, who's the OG, I think the OG
I call her the grandmother,
stand-up
but
teacher.
I'm not sure if she'd like that. Yeah, the grandmother of stand-up in Berlin.
Yes.
Yes.
So I signed up with a class with her, and the rest is history.
And that was in 2020?
So that was October 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
class
So
was
towards the
21.
end. So you're doing all that stand-up consumption in 2020 and then finally built up the...
Yeah.
And then did you do the competition?
I did the competition, yeah. So I did the class in, I think, October, and then the competition started in January. And I mostly signed up because, Louis.
You're talking Louisa Betcher?
Betcher, yeah. I love her. She's like a pusher. So we were in the same class together, and she was like, "You signed up for Yas Queen, and you do it today." Because after I did the class, I was like, "Oh, I don't know when my next spot will be." But she pushed me to sign up for stuff, and then that's what got the ball rolling. So
You gotta
thank you, Louis.
Thanks, Louisa. Yeah, she's great. Having those people in your life, and particularly in comedy, really important. Like my pusher was Toby Arsalan, actually. He was the one that was like, start comedy. Why don't you just do it?
He's here?
He's an OG. He's Pakistani German, and he ran the Mike Joke Time, which is long gone. And he does it like he'll do showcases, but he doesn't often I don't see him doing mics very often.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure he writes for like a German comedy program thing.
How did you meet him?
He was the roommate of my first boyfriend in Berlin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Genau.
Yeah. So it was him. There was a painter as well, and then another comedian. 2 other comedians lived there as well. So Reese, do you know Reese? I think his surname might be McLaughlin or Reese. He's London based.
Okay.
And then there was also a Taiwanese comedian living there as well, but kind of like, who knows how officially. And so it was these 3 comedians living there, and then so lots of so I met a lot of people in the scene before I started comedy. And so also Neil Num, is that your phone?
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry,
okay.
let me
No.
Yeah, I think it is.
Popular.
We just notifications from Strava like, you haven't run in 365 days.
Strava, I don't even know what that is.
It's a running app. Don't get it because it just reminds you that you're not exercising.
It's the same with Duolingo. It's the same with fucking dating apps. It's like, I know I haven't fucked anyone new for a while. Jesus, stop it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you like running?
No. I stopped. That's why I stopped. Like, I stopped running a couple of years ago. Like, I went through a breakup, but then I was like, okay, now I'm gonna do a half marathon because that's the only reason anyone does sport, right?
I feel like people who do I just feel like people who do marathons, it's like, get a better hobby, man. Like meet people, like you're not meeting people when you do a marathon.
You're not.
It's very solitary. Like just like dig deeper into your isolation, That sounds really mean, but I just also think running is just so, like, scientifically it's very jarring on the body. It's very boring. Like, you're moving at this very slow pace. Like, walking's different because it's very I feel like it's more like connecting with nature, and it's more ponderous, whereas running is this jarring, physically stressful, activity. I find it hard to believe that anyone actually likes doing it.
I kind of started because I wanted to get fit, and then it's easy to do it because you don't. When you're going through a time when you don't want to commit to things,
yes,
like you can just run whenever you want to,
yes,
which is nice. But you're right, it is bad for your knees. I think I've got very bad grandma knees now, probably because of the running. And apparently it ages you because when you're like jumping up and down, like the skin in your face is like jumping up and down.
Absolutely.
As well. And you get old. But I think you're right. Like I think every sport has its identity around it, and I think I realised I just don't identify with runners as a clan,
as a group. My exercise is all very haphazard, but riding a bike is really like that's how and Berlin is such a great city for riding because there's no part of the city that is difficult to cover with a bike. Whereas in Melbourne, like I used to ride in Melbourne as well, and the center of the business district is very hilly. Like there's some hardcore hills there, and then it's also just such a hugely like dispersed city. Like it's in, like it's just so sprawling.
Yeah.
Whereas Berlin, it's big, but it's like not that. It's not that crazy. Like the most I'd ride in a weekend is maybe like 35 kilometers. Riding from east to north, west to whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's But the problem is in winter. That's when it's like, okay, so how am I going to stay fit? I don't know.
What do you do?
Get fat. I take more drugs.
Take amphetamines, don't eat, stay skinny.
Stay skinny. I do work out at home, and I used to jump rope, but I think like if running ages you, fucking jumping rope's got to age you. Although it is like you're still not supposed to jump that high.
How can you control that?
You can control how high. Like it's just supposed to, you jump just high enough to let the rope pass under your feet. So whereas running is like these big leaps, jumping is just a small movement off the ground.
I bet
like
your
dancing.
downstairs neighbours love you.
Oh no, I do it outside. I wouldn't do it inside. No, I'm not that crazy. Although I have thought about doing it on the balcony because I've been outside. It's like when people walk past you, that's when you start like tripping over the rope, and then you're like,
I don't look cool.
It's like I'm not good at this. And
do you do tricks and stuff?
No.
There are people on TikTok who like do the little crossovers and like
I bet.
listen to K-pop, probably.
Oh God. Yeah, definitely. No, K-pop's fine. It's just TikTok that I don't respect. Okay, so we're talking a little bit about you moving back to London. Are you okay with bees, by the way?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, cool.
I just saw that my bra was showing.
Your boobs.
But,
Tits out. It's a great top.
thanks.
Yeah. I just was really staring at your boobs. I was more looking at the
That's
top.
okay. Admire, appreciate. I need some. Yeah.
Validation.
I need some validation. Been in Berlin for 4 days already. Need some validation.
So you're back in London. You're doing mics. You asked me would I consider moving to London, and I was like, yeah, I totally would if I got the right job opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I think so I went to the Edinburgh Fringe for the first time and took a show there.
Yes. I'm gonna ask you about it. Are you gonna tell me about it now? Because I was there, but like I left like 2 days before all of you guys from Berlin came. It's a bit of a pity. Yeah, I saw Moni and Mihai, but I think I missed you guys. Like you, Sophia, Sepidel.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully next year. But how did you like it?
It was the best 2 weeks of my life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. Like, just, it's comedy heaven. You're just able to do spot after spot after spot, run your own show. You know, they're stand-up educated audiences. Yeah. They're up for a good time.
Totally.
Like, you do have those dips in the week where you just feel like audiences are exhausted and, like, fucking cynical and hard work. Or, you know... or everyone else is just tired, or you're not sure. Like it's crazy emotional roller coaster, but the amount that you're able to achieve, and just performing to British audiences. What?
Nothing. I was just about to sneeze. I didn't come out.
I could hear something happening. I was like, I'll look over in a second, but I'm going to finish this thought. I have tissues if you need. But just performing to British audiences that are up for comedy, I just felt like, and native English speaking audiences.
It makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It's so exciting and fun and validating, and you can feel like I could like the number of jokes. The rush was crazy. Like when you can create that rolling laughter because you're able to throw comment after comment, like line after line, and they all connect because they can keep up because they're not needing to translate. They know all of the words, and they're also looking for the jokes with you because they know how stand-up works. It's like the tightness and the punchiness that you can, you know, elevate yourself to in that environment is so exciting.
Yes.
And then coming back to Berlin, and I love Berlin audiences because they're you know, you get some really like people that are really open-minded and are with you, and you're able to like test some really, really crazy progressive, like out there shit, not just progressive, but like out there stuff. But it's just you just got to go slower.
Yeah.
And so whenever I go back to Australia or go to the UK, it's like it's this process of needing to speed up again because I'm not needing to be conscious of non-native speakers. Right.
Do you find a difference between the Australian audience and the Fringe audience, for example? Or like the London crowd?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I think everyone in Europe, you're able to go darker in Europe
Yes.
because there's a closer physical and emotional connection to dark times. Like you're in Europe,
Okay.
you know, like you've got Russia right there. You've got the Ukraine war. You've got
Okay.
Syrian refugees everywhere.
Yeah.
You've got Europe.
France.
You've got France. You've got fucking France. Right? You've got Ireland, right? You've got like all of this conflict that's still very real. You've got like the fucking Yugoslav war. You've got all of this stuff that's within very like close history as well as like geographically near. Whereas in Australia, they're so removed from anything, dangerous.
Are they
And emotionally
too
difficult.
happy
Yeah, they're
to experience trauma?
Yeah, they're not traumatized. They're not. Okay, so the way I like to explain it or demonstrate, like I think this is the perfect way to show the connection with true danger that one has when they live in Europe versus in Australia. So
Okay.
in Edinburgh, one day they had the big fighter planes fly over the city. Were you
Okay.
there when that happened?
I did not see that.
It was more like a hearing situation because
Okay.
like I didn't see shit, but the sound, it sounded like, okay, so this huge noise descends across the city. It's terrifying. Building, like it feels like everything's shaking. I absolutely go into this moment of, holy fuck, we're being like, it's Russia or it's a some kind of act of terror or like war.
Really? That was your like gut reaction?
That was my gut reaction. I was
Okay.
like, holy fuck. My friend from Australia is standing next to me. He's like, are they going to come back? Are they going to come back? And he's like, well, that was like one of those fighter ones. Like, and I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, how can you be so, like, you don't have any fear right now? He's like, no, it's just like in the, like the air, what is it called? they have like the air expos in the country. And
so for him, it's like entertainment.
yeah, he just assumed it was entertainment.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I was here when the Ukraine war started. One of my best friend's wife died in the bombing in Syria. Like, it's like, we're not that far from it. And so I think in terms of comedy in Australia, going dark is not comfortable and most comics in Australia do not go dark without first very much preparing the audience.
Yeah.
Whereas in Europe, you can go dark pretty fucking fast and pretty hard. Yeah. So I think Edinburgh to Australia, is a very, noticeable difference.
That's interesting because like Australians are meant to have this like really light-hearted banter.
Yes.
And you think that's because of just the culture. Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of like so many of my good Aussie comedians. It doesn't get too dark, or they don't push those things too much.
Yeah.
A lot of supermarket material, a lot of
Off the shelf.
off the shelf.
Seen that one before. Packaging.
Yeah.
Tastes the same.
It'll taste no, they're good, and like there are comics that are they touch on emotional stuff, but it's not. There's often quite a lightness to it all. But yeah, so in terms of like my consideration of England, like I am considering England, like I would, because you can just level up in terms of like your comedy can get so much denser, and by dense I mean like packed full with punches when you're speaking to an audience that really can follow, but that does then limit your touring capabilities, because then when you tour you're still going to be touring and performing to audiences that aren't first like mother tongue English. So I don't know, good and bad.
I think there is an advantage to being in Berlin because you do realise what works internationally.
Yes.
Like the level in London is really high, even in the open mic circuit. But I already have that sense from the beginning when I hear jokes like, oh, that's really funny in London, or that's really funny in the UK.
Yeah.
Anyone who's lived outside the island's not going to understand what you're talking about.
Totally right.
Which might be good. Like sometimes having your niche is good.
Yes.
You get big in your niche and then go to whatever. But it's just something to be aware about.
Yeah, yes. I agree. So it's like, yeah, so I would like to spend, I would like to spend a couple of months a year in the UK, because I think I did feel like I could see a new level of, punchiness that you can get to, but then coming back to mainland Europe, then you sort of have to recalibrate. You can still be that punchy, but you just got to be more strategic with your wording and not rely too much on local references.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to visit. I'm going to visit. I'm going to do this little festival in February, the Leicester Festival.
Oh, that's meant to be a really good one. I did meet a couple of people there who run it, and they said it's a pretty popular one.
Yeah. I've got like I think I've got like 3 dates there. So I'll do my solo, my work in progress, and do a compilation show.
How long is it?
The festival I think is the full month, but it's but like. It's such a small little festival. It's not like Edinburgh, so you probably only do like 2 or 3 shows of your own. But it's a good opportunity to run your own show, and free rent and advertising at a festival. So, but whilst I'm there, I also want to check out. I want to do some stuff in Manchester and Liverpool because I haven't been to these places.
Oh.
Have you been to these places?
I have not been to Liverpool.
Okay, Manchester.
I've been to Manchester, but not for comedy.
Okay.
But people are really friendly. I like Mancunians very much.
Mancunians? I didn't know that was the...
That is the adjective.
Mancunians.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Although my Manchester friends all say that I've probably pronounced that.
Oh, how do they... Oh, then how should you say it? Mancunians.
I'm not going to try.
Okay, you're just like, I'll butcher it.
I'll butcher it. I'm sorry. You butchered my surname. I'm going to butcher your town. It's tit for tat.
Mancunians. That's crazy.
Have you done Mancunian? It's like Liverpool. Liverpudlian with Scouse.
Scouser, yeah. Scouse. Yeah. Do you know Kyle Legacy?
No.
He's... Oh my god.
Is he from Liverpool?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I've seen him on my feed.
Yeah, he's got the crazy hair. He's got like the white boy afro. Yeah. Always wearing like a basketball singlet. Yeah. Mostly. He's so fucking funny, but like his accent is just insane. Like, do you know Ludwig, the comedian in Berlin? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was like, oh, do you know anyone that might have spots? I was like, you know what? Like, hit up Kyle. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you'll be able to communicate with him though.
Good luck.
I'm like,
now you know how it feels to be me in Germany.
Yeah, it's like you think you speak English, but I don't think you understand English. Actually, like if you meet someone with that level of accent, but just so fucking funny, man. Like, the Scouse accent's hilarious.
Yes.
So you didn't do comedy in Manchester. Okay, I want to check that.
But they have I think it's called Beat the Frog. Beat the Frog in Manchester, or is it in Liverpool? Or is it Hot Bucket? Okay, there's like gong shows. There's like a very famous gong show in Manchester.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you done any gong shows in the UK?
I only did like an All Eggs one in Edinburgh.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind gong shows.
It's a really big thing.
It is a very big thing in the UK. We run one here, Christoph and I, when we get the spot at the Wall. But yeah, people love it. People love it. But and I like a gong show, although it's really like. It's just like you kind of have to do your safest material. Like, it's like I'm not able to really like. I can still be me, but it's like I am censoring myself.
Yeah.
And also, have you done a gong show?
Yes.
Okay, which one and how did it go?
I did. So last November, the first gong show I did was the one at the comedy store in London, the one in Leicester Square.
Yep.
I went okay. I think I did nearly 3 minutes, so I was like pretty happy.
That's good. How many minutes do they give you pre-gong capability?
There's no safe time at that one.
Ooh.
So...
Well done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy, because some people got on stage and they were like gonged off in like 10 Yeah, this woman came on, I'm embarrassed to say for my people, she came on and she was like, I'm American, and then everyone was like, bing, bing, bing.
Well, yeah... But like, is that really your first line though?
She was like, I'm American, and she was going into her joke. The people were not happy.
Oh, that is rough. Like, that is like how. Ooh.
Also, like when you look at video clips from that gong show, because you just see the stage and it looks really narrow, you don't realize that room is huge. Yeah. There's like 400 or 500 people in there, and it goes really far back. It's deceiving.
Yeah, I have heard that. I have heard that it's a large capacity and just brutal.
But I think that's the worst one. The other ones are a little bit nicer. Like they usually protect your first minute.
Yeah. And I hear the one in Manchester is a little bit easier to beat than like the London one. Okay, and so what do you think they gonged you off on?
I repeated a line. Like I have a setup, and I said the same thing again. And they were like, "We already heard you say that," and they just. Got rid of me.
Wow, that's really intolerant.
Yeah, but now I don't say it anymore. And I'm like, okay, well, kind of help me make my set tighter. Yes,
your tet's tighter.
my tet's tighter.
My tet's so tight. Made your set tighter, but not necessarily you. No. Okay, so that's interesting. In Edinburgh because I don't think the only other gong show I'd done before was in Barcelona.
They have a gong show?
They did. Okay. I don't know if it still runs, but in Barcelona was the only place you could perform. Like it was the only place where you could perform during the pandemic. Everything there opened up in like February 2021, and so we'd all like not perform for like 6 months and we were dying. So Dragos, Shahak and I, we went over there, and then there was Mike Rice there and Victor Petrashkan and Sid Singh, and it was like this whole like coming together of all of the European comics being like, and Luana was there, and there was a gong show, and that was the first time I'd done one. And
how'd it go?
Like it was fine. It was just like
the first one's a shock.
Well,
it's like your first time,
Well, it's good to watch other people do it, but like Shahak and Dragos get up there, and like they do all of their new material in the first 3 minutes. So it was, of course, once they can and it was like 3 minutes safe, and then whatever, and then of course once the audience can fucking gong you, it was like immediately, like as soon as you could go, because they were doing all it's like it's a strategy. You've got to get them on side, and then you got to keep them on side. And like the level like of controversy you can bring is minuscule. Like you just got to play it so safe. And so it is I like it as a litmus test for your material. Like
for new material.
No, for seeing what is safe.
Yeah.
And like, for example, I didn't realize that a couple of my jokes were not safe. Like in Berlin, you just get kind of inured to certain levels.
That is really true, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Like not sexuality stuff so much, but like
no, I would say crude stuff. Like not sexuality, but just sex,
and also racial stuff as well. Like talking about other nationalities. Yeah. I don't do that a lot, but
it's a bit darker here. Not darker, but more accepted.
It's more accepted to be a little bit like making little comments. Like I've got a joke about sleeping with lots of people from the Middle East, and I make like one little comment that's like it's a joke, but it was considered like I got gonged like the dude that fucking in Edinburgh, the dude that fucking gonged me was laughing, like dying with laughter as he like flagged me. It's like, motherfucker. But
did you speak back to him?
Oh yeah, I was like, you fucking white boy, as I got off the stage. It's like, I'm talking about Middle Easterns here and you're getting offended. Get fucked. Like
that's people here don't get offended on other people's that's not true.
That's not true. But it's people are a little bit more, I don't know, because it's so diverse here, like at least comedy audiences here, it's fully instant. Like you might
mostly
get
expats.
It's mostly expats, and you might get 50% German, but then they're Germans who've learned English, and so they're well traveled, and then you'll often get audiences that are everyone's from a different country. You'll have like a room of 30 people, and everyone is from a different place. So it's like, I don't know, like talking loosely about different nationalities isn't, and like it's. It's not hate speech if you're just saying...
It's not taboo because it's your everyday. Yeah. It's your everyday life, so if you don't talk about it, it's almost worse because you're avoiding the topic.
Exactly, and so that's the same as dark comedy in Australia, same as like, talking about different nationalities in the UK. It's like, because you're not talking about it all the time, you're a bit sensitive. It's triggering. So, yeah. But yeah, the second time I did the gong in Edinburgh, I didn't get a single
nice.
cut. And I was like, like, okay, I had learned by the end of the Fringe what my safest material was. Okay. And like, I like that material, but it's like, I get so much more joy out of doing my other shit that like causes those like laughs. Like that's so enjoyable.
It's a bit like being on it's a bit like dating. The first time you have to just do all the safe stuff.
Right.
Yeah. First 5 minutes.
First 5 minutes.
First date, and then you can go and like get a bit more avant-garde.
You can get
see how far you can go without getting a red card.
Exactly. So in your 3 years in Berlin, did you have partners, or did you like just date around, or?
I had some little flings. I never had like a partner. Like I wasn't in a relationship. But I had an old fling here and there. Yeah.
How did you meet people?
Oh my god. Okay, well, okay, so a couple of times from nights out, mostly from people I lived with and their friends.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way. You know that they're safe.
But I mean, don't shit where you sleep, as they say.
Yeah, don't shit where you sleep. That is totally what they say.
Yeah, you learn that through experience, and sometimes you have to experience that a couple of times.
Oh yeah, is that what happened, huh? Okay, so you are you like anti-dating apps?
I want to say that I am, but I still like have that crisis every 3 months where I like download them and then I delete them again in like 48 hours. But I mean, I'm not. I'd love to have an offline story, but I'm not anti.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I think they take a little bit of what's the word? Like passion out of it, because you know what to expect, and I think that being unexpected is sexy. Like when you meet someone, like if you don't know if they're into you, that's like pretty hot. Because it's kind of mysterious, you know. It's kind of that's part of the game, you know. Like, does he like me or does he not like me? Whereas when you're on the app, because you're both looking for either sex and or love, then you know that there's romance already on the table.
Well, I don't know about that. Like, you've still got to connect with them, and you still got to have chemistry. So it could be that it could be that you meet and like one of you doesn't want it. So there's still that element of mystery. Like, I think we're all interested in sex, and we all want love, depending on whether or not we're single or you know, with other people. But like, I don't know. It's still meeting people from apps. Like, it could still work out that neither of you want it, or one of you wants it and the other doesn't. Right? I think there's still that mystery there. But okay.
But I feel like it's on the table, right? Whereas when you meet someone IRL, it's not on the table yet. So somebody has to put it there. Like, that's how the flirting game starts. Whereas, I think that's like the hardest part, like to break that boundary. Interesting,
because it's okay. Well, okay. I feel like putting that on the table can be very easy, though. Like it.
Is it easy for you? Are you a good flirter? When you meet someone that you like, are you good at like dropping the hint, like either flirting directly and saying you're interested, or making it easy for them to approach you?
I guess I am, because it works out. Like that stuff happens. Yeah, and I think there's just lots of like non-verbal cues and lots of like little, you know, like it'll be how you look at someone, it'll be how you just that, like, you can read from the energy. If you're in a state of like, I don't know if they like me, then it's then that probably means that you're not.
And they don't.
or they're not sold on the idea. And so it's like, I was giving some advice to a friend, and it wasn't advice. It's more, I don't like giving advice, but like I was giving.
You were talking to yourself in the mirror. In your mirror that already has an identity crisis in the bathroom.
No, I was thinking of the person that I was giving the advice to, and how I wasn't going to name them, but I was talking to a female comedian, and and I think the approach that I have to all dynamics where I could want to have sex with someone, is that I approach all kind of friendships, and particularly, for example, with other comedians, right? Particularly in the workplace. When I meet someone who I've got great chemistry with, who I love spending time with, I go, this is a friendship, and this is just a friendship, and I'm not hoping for anything more out of it, because as colleagues, it's actually better in the long run for us to not engage sexually, but more than anything, it's more like, it's so great to have great chemistry with someone, to have someone in your life, and you can't know if it's going to become sexual. Yeah. So it's like, let's just enjoy the friendship. If that does happen, it happens, but thinking about it is just taking up space in your brain for other things.
I see what you mean, but it's a little bit exciting. It's
exciting, but I guess, I feel like it is, like, there's been quite, maybe in like a month I'll be contradicting myself, but I feel like in my, like, maybe 3 years ago, you know, I'd meet someone, I'd feel strong chemistry with them, and then I'd spend a lot of time thinking about what if and how to make it something else.
Yeah.
But you can't alone, you know, change the dynamic with someone. Like, it has to naturally change together.
That's true.
So spending any time thinking about what it could be, it's like, no, what it is right now is fucking fun, and I really love seeing them, and cool, and, you know, but like trying to plot out some other, you know, some development in the friendship into something else is just a waste of time.
Okay, so like, you think it's hard to get from friends to more than friends if you're work colleagues, but if you're in, does that only apply to work situations?
I think it applies to all situations.
Because what if you like someone as a friend and then you realize in one moment, like, hey, I've got the fuzzy warmies for you.
And then,
like, how do you know, and you want to invite them for a drink, just you guys?
Yeah. Then you can do that. You can do that. But like, if it hasn't, like, I feel like things do natural. Like, you can be like, hey, do you want to get a drink? And then you can suss it out. Like, if it is mutual. But like plotting it out and like planning and like trying to make it like it's gonna go there if it's gonna go there.
Yeah.
Allow, like, make opportunities for it. Be like, hey, do you want to come to this thing? Oh, you don't? Okay, so they're not as motivated to spend time with me as I am. Or do you want to get a drink? Okay, we get a drink, and then it's super platonic. It's like, okay, well, then that's all it is. Like, yeah. But yeah, so like, create the opportunities, but like, and whether it's colleague or a friend or friend of friend, like, yeah. But I think that's just I think I spent a lot of time, you know, 4 years ago, all of my 20s and like early 30s, giving a lot of energy to hypothetical relationships that I felt something in. And it's like, nah. Like, it's just a lot of energy to go. So
you're saying that you learned that through dating a comedian?
I learned that through having having friendships with comedians that I had feelings for, and then like nothing worked out. Or not just comedians, like also just any relationship, actually, like just not just like dating, like that the joke I have about the Romanian that I was dating like 2 years ago. Yeah, just, you know, things that you can't control shit, man.
That's true.
And what people want, like, I have zero expectation. Like, I'm very clear. Yeah, I don't know. But are you trying to date people? Like, are you going out and meeting people in London?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I also feel this vibe of like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, which is what you say. But then I'm also in this, you know, productivity cult where the mantra is like, if you want something, you gotta go and get it. You know, you gotta make things happen if you want them. So you gotta put yourself out there.
Yes.
And it's like, sometimes you don't know where that boundary lies between letting it happen.
Yes.
And then, but I've actually got to put in some effort here.
Yes. I think, yeah, like I stay on the dating apps. Like, I have a partner. We're open. I have a partner. Yeah, I have a person. We're open.
You said it already. You can't take it back.
And like, I don't actively partner in crime. Yeah, and I'm not like actively looking for people, but we're open. So like, you know, some of the people that I have sex with, that, you know, are just sort of more casual people that I have sex with. Some of them I don't really want to see anymore, so I still have the dating apps, and that's still, I'll still look, and I'm still like open to people, but yeah, just like going with the flow. It's all so vague sounding, but like not stressing about it, but being open, not looking for it, but like keeping those. I don't know.
I think that's a real Berlin lesson, because you just can't plan socially. Career-wise, but socially you can't plan shit here. I think that's something you have to learn. Like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If you guys are gonna meet up on Saturday night, it's gonna happen. But if you plan it, probably one of you will flake and you'll be disappointed. So you just have to let everything go with the flow. You
really have to let things go with the flow.
And you have to be okay with it. It's really hard if you're like semi-type A.
Semi-type A? What the fuck is type A?
You know, like when you're type A, where you like to know, like, this is going to happen at 10, this is going to happen at 1, and all that stuff. You like to have some idea of what to expect.
I do like
to semi-type A.
It's okay to be type A.
I'm a semi.
This is why you moved back to London. No. I guess, it's an interesting thing, the letting plans come or go. Like, I've got good friends and it's like, we can make a plan, but at the same time, like, there'll be plans that I'm like, I'm definitely going to stick to them. But then, you know, there might be nights where it's like, I'm fucking exhausted. I just want to go home. I don't want to go out partying tonight.
Yeah.
But like canceling on like a dinner plan, that should almost never happen because it's just fucking dinner. But like plans to like get shit faced.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe I'll cancel, you know, I canceled last weekend, the weekend before because I was really tired from X, Y, and Z, but we're going to party this weekend. It's going to happen. Yeah. And then like you kind of, I don't know. But yeah, meeting up. I don't know, like there's a guy that I used to have sex with who I haven't closed the door, but I'm closing the door because he'll be like, hey, what are you up to tonight? And I'll be like, hey, I've got a show. I'll be free at 11. He's like, let's text then. And I'm like, sure. I'm not going to text. Like, you reached out to me.
That really bothers me too when someone uses like the we, like, let's do this, but what he means is like, I'm going to wait for you to do it.
It's like, you reached out to me. Yeah. I told you when I'm free. We could make a plan.
Yeah.
I'll be free at 11. You said, let's talk then. Well, then fucking hit me up then.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I'm absolutely on board with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
let's see how it goes, okay? But let's means you and I. That means that you also have to put in the effort.
Like, you've reached out to me. I've told you when I'm free. You're saying let's organize it later. That means you need to organize it later if you want to. Like, I've told you my availability.
Yeah.
We can do that. Yeah. I'm like,
it's like the same when someone messages you like, what are you up to tonight, instead of just saying, do you want to hang out tonight? Because that's what they mean. But they kind of want to check out what your plans are. They kind of want to scope the situation before they commit to saying that they want to hang out with you.
Yeah, although I sometimes say, what are you up to tonight? Because, you know, maybe they've got planned, like, do you want to hang out tonight? Maybe they've already got planned. You know, maybe it's like, what are you up to? Like, do you have space?
Yeah.
Is kind of the question when I say, what are you up to tonight? But yeah, it's not a lack of commitment, I guess. It's more of like I understand that you might be busy already. Mm-hmm. If it's like, do you want to hang out tonight? Then it feels like it's just tonight.
I think it's too much.
Yeah, it feels a bit like, it's a bit like, yeah, it's more like, let's see what we're both, like, let's see what I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like the more I'm talking, the more I'm like, wow, how flaky have I become?
Reality check, Anna.
Yeah.
You're a flake.
I'm a total flake. I'm not a flake, but like some people, I'm absolutely a flake. Like there's definitely like levels of flakiness, and like.
Are you what do they call it? Phyllo pastry?
Am I phyllo?
Or are you a 99-cent flake? They don't have that here, but they have that in the UK.
What's a 99-cent flake? Like the Cadbury chocolate.
Yeah, the thing that you put in on an ice cream.
Yummy.
Yeah.
I'm not flaky. But it depends on the like there are flaky relationships, and so then I will meet in the flakiness.
Yeah.
Flake meets flake.
Yeah, like you have to meet flake with flake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Flake. Yeah, I got nothing to add to that. I think you're right. Flake to flake. Flake to flake. In Australia, we call shark meat flake. Did they do that in the UK?
Not that I've heard of. I don't think they sell shark meat in the UK. I think that sounds very...
It sounds so Australian, doesn't it? But we call it flake, so it's like we eat shark all the time, but we don't think about it as shark because we call it flake.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so like in the UK in the pub, they'd sell like pork crackling.
Mm-hmm.
In Australia in the pub, they'll sell flake.
Oh, there's pork crackling too. But just at the local fish and chip shop, it's like the standard fish, like the cheapest fish is always shark. It's flake.
For real.
It sounds crazy now that I say it, but it's true. It sounds
crazy.
Yeah, flake is shark.
How does it taste?
Well, it's just normal fish. It's fine. Like, it's good. It sounds good. Yeah.
What kind of shark is it?
I guess it's like a gummy shark. I don't know. It's like a small one.
Okay.
Little guys, but not too little.
So you're killing baby sharks?
Yeah, baby sharks.
Baby shark. I'm definitely having this when I go to Australia.
Yeah. So when
I like to try new foods.
When are you going to Australia?
When shall I go? When's the best time to go?
I would say don't leave Europe in summer. So don't go in the middle of the year because you're going to winter there.
Okay.
I would say go.
So like do a winter skip and have 2 summers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No. Oh no. Yeah. No.
Exactly. I would say get out of Europe around December.
Okay.
Be there like January is fucking hot usually, but so Jan, if you want to skip the super heat, go in February. By the time it's March, it's already getting a little bit. By the time it's April, it's getting a bit cold on the east coast. So,
what is it like to celebrate Christmas in the summer?
That's just normal. It's just normal.
Like,
it's just normal.
Can they still decorate with like fake snow?
No, we don't.
No?
That's dumb. It's no. No, we just
That's dumb.
That's dumb.
But
No.
That's the dumbest part about Christmas.
It's the snow. Snow.
Do you decorate palm trees? Or
Yeah, there's some like lights and palm trees. Yeah, we have palms on the on like some of the beach boulevards in Melbourne. There might be some lights up there, but there's just like tinsel and lights, and there'll be some houses that do like the full on like LED like decorations in the front yard, and they'll have like snowmen. It's like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, just normal decorations. You know, usually I still grew up with like roasts, like roast dinners for Christmas lunch, even that's like super hot. So as we
do you roast shark?
We don't roast shark. It's usually lamb, lamb, chicken. There'll be like a leg of ham. But as we sort of mature, like in the last 10 years, we started doing more like seafood, and which is better for the climate. Like it's much nicer to eat seafood for Christmas dinner or Christmas lunch because it's fucking hot. But yeah, it's just, you know, still want to have like Christmas pudding though, and like custard and stuff. So there's still like a lot of British elements to it, but it's like usually pretty hot. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Do you know people in Australia?
Not really.
Okay.
I met a couple of Australian comics at the Fringe.
Yeah.
I met an Australian guy when I went traveling. Maybe I would just like, no, I don't need to meet people. I'll meet people when I get there.
Oh, you will, for sure. Would you do like
They're
a working
really
holiday?
Friendly.
Yeah, we're pretty nice.
You don't think so?
We're nice. We're friendly. We're friendly.
She's got opinions.
We're friendly. No, man, like Anglo societies are super friendly to strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, absolutely. Then the thing is, though, super friendly to strangers, and then once you get talking, like, if you want to get real, then it's a little bit more judgy and not that open, not that emotionally open, but not like US level. Like, US is like, feels very weirdly superficial and overly nice, whereas Australia is a lot more like the British, but still more direct than the British. The British like to circumlocute, like they don't want to talk about.
They just don't tell you what they mean.
No. Whereas Aussies are a lot more direct, and so but generally very open and friendly and helpful to strangers. Yes. Yeah. So are you going to do like a working holiday visa or something?
Yeah, I think that's the only option actually.
Probably.
I have to like pick fruit, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Or maybe work on a shark farm.
Do a shark farm.
I'll do what's the most Australian, I could work on a shark farm in
South Australia. There's lots of sharks there.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think you'll really like Melbourne. So go to Melbourne.
That's like the hipster city, right?
Yeah. It's like the Berlin of Australia, I guess.
But the weather apparently isn't very typically Australian, no? Oh, you know what I just finished watching? I don't know if it's set in Melbourne, like that program by Kitty Flanagan, Fisk.
Fisk?
It's like a new sitcom.
Ooh.
It's Australian. Have you seen it?
I watched the new sitcom with the kind of, it's going to be terrible, my description of her, but the kind of, have you seen, this is going to be one of those like going nowhere descriptions of things that aren't specific. It's called Fisk. I have not seen it.
About a lawyer who's misguided.
Okay, no, I haven't. I watched the series by, I've forgotten her name, but she plays like a mum, like a bad mum in a TV series called is it called Falling Down? Not Falling Down. It's about like being a mother and being kind of shit mother.
Okay. I don't know.
It's
Can't
very
relate.
it's very yeah, me neither. But it's very
I'm a
it's,
great mum.
you're the best. It's all those baby sharks, and it's it's a great series. It's an Aussie series about a mother's group, and but anyway, she's one of the mothers in it. And now she's got her own series, and she's this like food writer in the US, but she's Aussie, and she comes back to Australia, and she gets stuck in Australia because of her visa situation. Somehow stuff goes awry. That's very funny. But no, I haven't seen Fisk. What in it? Oh, you're wondering if it's set in Melbourne.
They have a lot of trams in it. Do you guys have trams?
Yes, that's Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was very astounded by that.
You were astounded by the trams.
Yeah, I was like, that's so European.
Trams have always been my favourite form of transport.
Why?
Because they stop more regularly than trains, and they're in a
Such a nerdy
city.
conversation.
It is so nerdy.
What's your favourite form of public transport?
Oh man, trams are the best. Come on, like I do like a train, but everyone hates buses. It's worldwide consensus. Buses are the lowest form of public
Some
transport.
people like them because you can look outside.
Yeah, that's the only problem with underground is that there's no view. Yeah, but you don't like trams?
I don't mind them. I just they're tied to they don't have freedom.
They don't have freedom.
They're tied to their rails. I feel sorry for them.
Free the trams. Free the trams. Only buses have freedom, and buses are fucking annoying because they get stuck in traffic.
Like maybe trams wish they were buses, and buses
I think
wish
trams.
they were cars.
No one wants to be a car. Do you drive in London?
No, I just did my driving lessons for the second time.
Okay.
So hopefully get my license soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Regrets. I wish I did that in high school.
Me too, but I have lived my whole life without a driver's license.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What do you do when you go on holiday? Like that's the one reason I want a license, because I can't hire a vehicle.
Buses, baby.
Buses, baby. A buses, baby.
I just, or I'll be with someone who's got a driver's license.
Yeah.
And then that's great. Like,
Does your new fling drive?
he does.
Okay.
He does. I don't know if he's got a valid license though, so it'll be interesting.
Because what you need to do when you're dating is find someone who can drive, especially in Berlin, because
You're looking for someone who compliments you.
Yeah, that's such a nice way to put it. You're looking for someone that compliments you, someone that can help you move your stuff when you have to move for the 10th time.
Oh yeah.
Someone that can drive you to the lake. Someone who can
driven to the lake. Oh
drive
my
you to the
God.
airport.
I like riding to the lake though. Like where I live now, where we are here, it's like it's a solid ride, but it's like 45 minutes and you're at a lake, and it's like just a straight path.
Okay.
Very easy, and I think riding to the lake's much nicer than needing to find parking, or I don't know. Like I just don't like cars because of all the extra costs that are connected, and then also the dangers.
Not because you don't have a license.
Not because I don't have a license. No. All my partners in Australia always could drive, and I had a couple of cars in Australia.
Oh, so you
And
couldn't
they
drive?
I could drive as a learner, but I never got my license.
Okay. Do you have any interest in that?
I'm turning 37 in like a month and a half. I think like if I got why would I get my license? In Berlin, if I have a kid, which I do plan to do in like 3.5 years.
We have to talk about your timeline.
Yeah, I had breakfast with one of my best friends this morning, and we're the same year. Most of my good friends, not comedy related, some comedy related, were all born in '86.
Okay.
And it's funny, this connection with the year, but and sort of the camaraderie that comes from having lived the same time. But yeah, talking about approaching 40 and what we want, and so like I found out, everyone who fucking might listen here knows, and anyone in my audiences, I got my fertility tested, and it came back that I'm like very fertile, so I'm going to get my eggs frozen.
Oh really? Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's such a boost to your ego, like things you never knew that you were good at.
I know.
Like guys are actually super good at eggs.
I'm super good at eggs.
Some people make a good omelette. I'm I'm good at eggs, guys.
I've got eggs for days.
I've got eggs for days.
Yeah, I'm working on a bit about it. It's it's hilarious. But in terms of like having a kid and having a license, like there's a good argument for like get your license if you have a kid. So what if you need to take them to the hospital? What if you But in Berlin, like I would like to, like if I have kids, I think Berlin is a really good, like a lot of people don't agree, but I think Berlin's an extremely good city for having kids because like lots of reasons, health system, the childcare system, also the density of living means like easy community in terms of the kids' independence once they're in school and being able to visit friends and all of this stuff. But also in terms of having a kid here, having a bike and riding with the box in front of your bike, or being able to transport your kid with a bicycle is very what's the word, doable. Okay, let's continue. We just may have lost the high quality recording for the last fucking hour, but we'll just wrap up the last sort of 15 minutes.
So
that was me.
Wrap up. Anna's had a Cadbury surprise. She's super good at eggs.
Had a Cadbury surprise. That's a cute little reference. Although, that only works in the Cadbury eating world.
Okay, sorry, a Kinder surprise.
It's a Kinder. Oh,
I made the reference culturally appropriate.
And it's also even like more specific too. That's so funny. I'm gonna have to use Kinder Surprise in the bit for sure.
Yeah.
But so got lots of eggs. But so like in terms of cycling, I don't need a license in Berlin if I have kids, because riding a bike with kids is very easy here.
Yeah.
And then and once they're like 2, they can ride their own fucking bike. Off you pop, Takita. Bye-bye.
Do or die.
Yeah. Like, mum's got to work, you know, get yourself to this free childcare that I pay, only like €200 a month for. Like, the childcare is so good here.
Childcare, my sister's had a baby in England, and they don't, at the moment, they don't pay for childcare until the child's like 3 or 4. So, like, what? And then the cost of childcare is basically the same as a salary. So the older I get, the more I realise why people are housewives, you know? Because when I was younger, I was like, I want to work my whole life. I went to an all-girls school, so I was like, I want to be super feminist. Like, why would you ever be a housewife? Like, I didn't understand it. And now I'm like, actually, it makes sense that you want to look after your own kid if you're working and every single cent that you make is going to go on childcare. Like, you might as well just stay at home and look after your own kid.
Right? Well, if that's the system.
If that's the system.
Exactly.
If that's the system. Like, or if you don't have your parents around to help you. I mean, they say it takes a village, and I think you don't understand that until you see a child grow up. Yeah,
and until you realise how much work it is and how it's much better to have a variety of adults around with different perspectives and different approaches and different experiences. And absolutely.
How many, are you one of many siblings?
I have one brother, but then I have 3 step siblings.
Okay.
We sort of became a joint family when I was like 12, and then the kid, so my step siblings were like 5-7 years younger than me, and my brother's older than me. So.
Okay, so you've been around like younger kids than you. Okay.
Yeah, but I think I would only want 1 kid, maybe 2 if shit's crazy good. But like, I'd say 1 kid's fucking enough.
Anna, you're so good at eggs.
I'm so good at eggs.
You can't waste your skills. You're good at eggs.
I'm good at eggs. But I can sell my eggs. You know, like I can sell the eggs, right?
Yeah, you can. I know someone when I was in Erasmus. This girl I was studying with, because I lived in Spain, in Sevilla, which was like, it's not the most affluent part of Spain. Anyway, this girl, her family was struggling, and she didn't tell them, I think, but she sold her eggs. But like, you have to take a lot of hormones for like 2 or 3 months.
Yes.
Because I always thought like, sell your eggs, it's so easy.
No.
And I don't know if men have to take hormones when they.
No, they don't have to fucking do shit when they give sperm.
Because apparently when you give eggs, you have to like do injections for a while. And she was having like sickness and all this shit. And I was like, wow. It's hardcore. That's hardcore. It's hardcore to do the egg thing. So I'm planning to do it by the end of the year. Yeah. I've got my appointment with the person, like the doctor, in like a week and a half, and start the process. And I think it's going to cost me about €3,000. But does that include like renting them? Like, what's the rent for where they stay? Like storage. Sorry. It includes a storage rental and it includes the freezer space. For how long? I think it's around €500 a year to keep them frozen. Okay.
Maybe a little bit less.
So how much is that per month? 60 euros a month.
60 euro a month.
That's like
It's quite an investment.
public transport.
It's like public transport. It's like the ticket in Berlin. The Germany ticket. Germany
It's the
wide.
ticket to your future.
That's right. But then I could also sell, like, it could be that, like, I don't use them and then I can just, like, sell them at a discount once they're, like, 3 years frozen. But, yeah, it just means, like, doing it, if my eggs are this high quality now, it's, like, it's easier to get them out when you've got high quality and high volume or high quantity eggs. And because when you get older, it gets less, and so it's harder to get them out if you do want to freeze them. So that's why I want to freeze them, because it's going to be quite a successful process, because there's so many in them good quality, apparently.
Because you're so good at eggs.
Because I'm so good at eggs, and and then I'll just keep them frozen for the next 3 years, and then hopefully, like, if I don't use them, then I guess theoretically I could sell them in my 40s and be like, oh, you use them, here we go. But hopefully I use one and I'm able to do the whole motherhood thing.
How do you feel about the, like, freezing your eggs and stuff?
Because of all the hormones, at first I was like, I'm not going to do it, because if I have like an average count for my age, then I usually have to do it twice, and so it's doing those hormones for like, ends up being like at least 4 months of injecting yourself with these fucking hormones, and experiencing all of the emotional and physical difficulties that having that level of hormone change does. So yeah, at first I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, because that's too it's too much trauma for the possibility of being a mum. But now that I know that I'm good at eggs, then then it's going to be just once that I need to do it, and it's going to be a successful thing, because it's all good, and then it just means that I don't have to be stressed about the functioning of my body until, you know, I'm ready to have a kid. It's like, it's all good, it's all in there. It's like, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of paying for not needing to think about having kids for another 3 years.
But if you're good at eggs and you freeze your eggs, can you still conceive naturally?
I could still conceive naturally.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not taking all of them out.
That's so cool. I don't know much about this, excuse my ignorance.
They're not emptying the fridge, they're just
Chicken a couple. They're just your neighbours like, I need to borrow some eggs.
Yeah, it's like they're not taking the chickens out of the coop. They're just collecting the eggs that are there now and saving them for later.
Cool.
Yeah. So I could still conceive naturally, definitely.
Do you have any names for your potential baby chickens?
I actually do know what I'd like to call my child, but I'm not going to say it, because that's how you destroy it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know exactly what I'd like to call my child.
Is it a German name?
No.
Is it an Aussie name?
It's English.
It's English, I think.
Yeah, but it could like have some, you know, variations on it.
Are you named after somebody in your family?
No, my mum just liked the name Anna. Okay. Are you?
No.
Yeah, because Annabelle. What's your background? Like, what's the heritage of the Minkova clan?
So it's a Bulgarian name. So my parents are both from Sofia, from Bulgaria, but they moved to the UK pretty much as soon as it was possible to travel.
Okay.
From east to west.
Okay.
But yeah, my parents grew up in Sofia, and their parents are also from Sofia. One of my grandmas is from like the south of Bulgaria, but pretty much they're all, like, most of my family and heritage is from that area. I think I had like a great-great-granddad who was like a Greek priest or something. But yeah, it's Bulgarian.
Bulgarian. Do you speak Bulgarian?
I do.
Yeah. So you speak with Deo sometimes?
Sometimes, but I don't think he likes it.
He doesn't like speaking in Bulgarian?
Well, sometimes he tries to. Sometimes he does. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he likes it that much.
Okay. Alright, interesting.
Yeah. I've tried to like connect with him. I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe I should try again.
Maybe. Or not.
Maybe it could be a vibe. We'll see.
Okay.
But I'm named after a poem about a dead lady. So like Edgar Allan Poe has this poem called Annabelle Lee, and it's like really sad. It's about this girl who dies.
How does she die?
I don't remember, but it's just like a woeful poem about this beautiful dead woman.
I prefer the adjective woey.
Is that a woey? Woey?
Because it makes it funny. It's so woey.
Woey. So
that was like a word in Boggle that I once tried to convince people.
Oh my god, Boggle!
How good is Boggle?
What a flashback!
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games for sure. Are you a Scrabble player? I do like Scrabble. Yeah, I've only got a German set though, which No one wants to play
Oh my
with
god,
me.
you're so cultured. I only have it in German. I'm such a bilingual.
Bilingual.
Wowie.
Wowie.
So intelligent.
So intelligent.
Do you want to play German Scrabble with me?
But Boggle's the shit. Boggle's just a word game for anyone that's listening that cares. It's got the little dice with hold on, the plural is die, no, it's dice. It's got dice with letters on them, and then you shake them up, and you have to make words with the dice that connect, and you can go diagonal and you can go horizontal, and it's very enjoyable. Okay, so do you want to have kids?
I think I do want to have kids.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like I'm around a lot of people who don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
So it kind of influences my opinion sometimes. But I do, you know what, I don't ever want to be a mum, but I do know that I want to be a grandma.
That's
So
interesting.
in order to be a grandma, you do have to be a mum.
Why do you want to be a grandma?
I just feel like, I think I've had a really strong connection with both of my grandmas, and they helped raise me, and I think that they can play such an important role in the life of young people. Like, I think elderly people have so much knowledge and wisdom to share, and I think we live in it's getting a bit deep. I think we live in a society where often old people are kind of ostracized as just being crazy or bigots, and obviously they have often outdated opinions, but I don't know, I think they have a lot of love to give, and unlike your parents, they spoil you and they give you all these things that you like, and they cook for you, and I don't know, I think it's cute.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I totally agree. I think there's too much of a disconnect between young and middle-aged people and old people.
Yeah.
And I think it's devastating, and I think it hurts us as a society. I think I grew up with no old people around me. I got my step-grandparents. They were great, and they're still great. But yeah, I just didn't have almost any connection to older people. So I speak out of very little experience, but I just don't think that they should be so, I talk about not wanting to get old in Germany, because when I'm old, I want to be able to walk down the street and have strangers smile at me,
Yeah, maybe here's not the place.
Here's not the place. Here's not the place. And I want to grow old somewhere that's, friendly and whatever, but and where there's a community and people are involved and stuff. So yeah, I think it's a real shame. I think Australia is very isolating on so many levels. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it's so spread out. So
right, because of the distances.
Yeah,
okay,
and so being connected to your family is quite hard, and having any independence at a certain level is difficult because everything's so spread out. So I definitely want to die in Europe. Yeah, probably in sunny, happy Europe.
And Mallorca.
Yeah.
You just want to die from too much tan.
Just too much tan. Just want to die of
I
melanoma.
want to be like a little leather.
I want to be a leather bag. My dead eggs inside it. Yeah.
Your eggs will still be alive.
Oh, they'll still be going.
You'll be so good at it.
They're gonna defy age. But we have to wrap up. I've got to yes. But where can people find you? Are you do you have an online presence? What's happening?
Well, I'm on the Instagram. Annabelle.Minkova.
Do you post shit?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I think I just started my acceptance of social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just post my gig dates every now and again.
Nice.
So if you want to come and watch me, and soon there'll be content.
Soon there'll be content. Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. That's been Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Goodbye.